Hi there. I'm gonna be doing something a tad different today. It's SCP related, so it isn't completely out of the norm for my channel, but the type of video this is going to be will be noticeably different. So what am I doing? Well, one of the biggest Containment Breach mods, which you likely know as Ultimate Edition, got a major update after nearly 2 years since the last one. But saying update doesn't really feel right. That's because this update is more of an overhaul. The mod is now known as Ultimate Edition Reborn, and everything has been redone from the ground up. And today I'm going to be reviewing this Reborn project. I have to first note, I'm reviewing the very first version of Reborn. By the time this video releases, there's a chance of an update that was already released, and some of the things mentioned in this video will no longer apply. I also have to note, with this being the very first version, I understand that bugs exist. I'm going to be keeping the bug discussion to a minimum and focus on the more creative decisions this mod decided to take. So with that out of the way, let's begin. I guess it's best to start with the minimum bug discussion, just so I can say we talked about it and move on. This release is full of bugs. A lot of the things cause hard crashes, which suck because there are some cool things I wasn't able to see due to the consistent crashing involved with certain events, such as 035's event. There's other bugs too, such as being able to grab 1123 through the glass of his containment cell and 895 spawning in light containment zone, but those things have been noticed by the mod developers and are apparently going to be fixed in the patch that's seemingly coming soon. But the thing is, I found a ton of these bugs on just a first blind playthrough, so it gives me this weird feeling that this wasn't play tested. I'm sure it was. The team behind Ultimate Edition Reborn is a very good team and they're known for producing some amazing things. But the fact that I found so many broken things so quickly gives me a negative feeling that I can't shake off. I feel as if this mod was rushed, or at least this first version of it. This is mostly due to the fact that the creator came out saying with the release of this mod, a lot of things weren't added that he wished he was able to add. So I do wish that the creator took more time on this instead of focusing on releasing it on a deadline. But I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure with the updates coming out soon, it's going to solve a lot of these current issues. I think that's about it for the bug discussion. I'm going to be going more into the actual game itself now. I first want to talk about a giant elephant in the room, and that's the removal of a ton of SCPs from previous Ultimate Edition updates. A lot of SCPs were removed for understandable reasons, but I think there's only 2 SCPs in this mod that aren't from the vanilla build of Containment Breach, and it's really upsetting to see, because it makes everything feel empty. This is a problem with Containment Breach, and the original Ultimate Edition versions fixed it a tad bit. Containment Breach always felt like an empty hallway simulator, and I'm sure even SCP's biggest fans can admit to this, but Ultimate Edition did help that feeling out by the inclusion of a good handful of SCPs. A lot of people complained about the additions of the SCPs because they felt as if these SCPs in the mod were filler and useless, but in my eyes it's either those type of useless SCPs or just another empty hallway, and I would take useless SCPs over an empty hallway any day. But apparently, Reborn plans on adding some more of those SCPs back in future updates, so I guess it's fine. I just hope it's soon because this mod felt more of a update to Containment Breach more than a mod. Ultimate Edition Reborn adds some more options to the settings, things such as subtitles and dark and bright mode. I'll get into that after I discuss 2 things, the first being subtitles, which I enjoy very much. I think subtitles should be in most SCP mods nowadays, and I'd love to put it in mine if I knew how to do it. It helps in those moments where you can barely understand what somebody is saying, which is actually pretty common in Containment Breach.
Sergeant Mitchell, do you copy?
What is he saying? What the fuck is he?
The second thing I want to talk about is the dynamic versus normal HUD. This feature was present in the original versions of Ultimate Edition, but it's really buggy here. They also scaled down the HUD, which makes the entire HUD look completely broken. I'm not sure if it looks better with higher resolutions, but I personally enjoy my games in the smaller window rather than full screen. And this issue was never present before in this mod, nor was it present in normal Containment Breach. I don't really know if it's a bug or a creative decision. If it isn't a bug, it really needs to be reverted back to what it was. And it isn't just with the HUD itself, but a lot of things do look compressed in this mod, which is upsetting to see because it just makes some things look really weird and out of place. Now, I want to talk about the bright versus dark modes, which I think are really weird. It does exactly what it says, it makes the game either brighter or darker, but I don't know who is ever going to play dark mode. I can barely see a normal Containment Breach, and I don't think I would enjoy an even darker experience. Containment Breach is a really dark game. Every single SCP YouTuber that you watch will turn the contrast up because it's so dark. I don't understand why darker mode is a thing, but maybe there's something I don't understand about it. I've barely played around with dark mode, so there could be a chance that things do look better with it, but I don't really know. I just wish there was a more in-depth description on what the setting does. It's a big problem with this mod actually, the darkness of everything. Everything is way too dark, and it's amplified by this new colored fog effect that they added, which is in the Nine-Tailed Fox mod, but it changes instantaneously when you change the zone you're in, which looks really bizarre. They also modified the elevator guard event. If you don't remember what that is, it's an event where there's an elevator and you see a guard go into it, and that's about it. He dies, and that's pretty much the end of it. But they modified it so that the guard shoots you, but the guard will shoot you the second the door opens. So it's a little unfair. It could have been a bit more fair if he shot at you while moving, but that's not something the guards in Containment Breach can do. So when the guard sees you, he just stands there, shooting at you. And again, it's unfair because you take a lot of damage when getting shot, and they have fully automatic weapons, so you get shot more than once. And there's no way of knowing that's the next room coming up. I would understand if it was like the end room event with the janitor where the room makes a sound before you go into it, but this guy is just completely quiet, so you just walk in there and get shot, which sucks. It's really annoying. Now, I only have one more complaint before getting into the stuff that I really like, which is the new difficulty settings. You see, in Containment Breach, there were always 3 difficulties. There was easy, medium, and hard. But in Containment Breach, it's known as safe, Euclid, and Keter, but it's the same thing. But as soon as you started Containment Breach, you had free access to all of these modes, and Containment Breach has been out for a while. So, most people who are, a fan of Containment Breach have already mastered the safe mode and maybe even the, medium difficulty mode. But in Ultimate Edition, you have to be easy to get medium and so on, which is awful. I'd understand if they made it so that you have to beat the Keter mode to get a new, even harder mode, which was actually something present in previous versions of Ultimate Edition. But here, it's every difficulty past easy you have to unlock. I really don't like this, because by the time most players play this mod, they're already more experienced past the easiest mode. So why do they have to do it again? It doesn't really make any sense. I personally enjoy the easiest mode myself. I always play the safest mode because I just enjoy the saving feature better. But it still bugs me, even if I never even really play the harder modes. Now, I want to get more into the positive stuff, and that mostly lies into improvements to pre-existing events from Containment Breach. The SCP-1123 event has more details within it that make things feel more interesting. SCP-035's emotions can change, both on the actual mask itself and images of it on the documents, and there's new door types which make exploring even more enjoyable. I really like the smaller details in these types of things, and Ultimate Edition does this pretty well. Every room was redone in a program known as CBRE, which improves the lighting immensely. They also added some things to certain rooms, such as piping in 035's room, and just more details to a lot of things overall. Even the elevators now have glowing arrows to tell you where you're going, and I really appreciate that. It isn't necessary at all, but I think it makes things look better in my personal opinion. They also added a new screenshot feature, which makes things a lot easier to document on my end. I've noticed some bugs with it, like the feature sometimes also screenshotting where it says I took a screenshot, but it's not really a problem at all. There's also new minor rooms, such as a janitorial closet, which I think adds a good layer of immersion, even if it's only 3 rooms for now. Something else I also enjoy is the inclusion of the scramble gear, which will blur out the face of SCP-096, making him a lot easier to pass by. One thing I would recommend though is the possibility of the gear bugging and having it show his face for maybe a split second, just so that it isn't a completely overpowered tool, but I do think it's a really nice addition, especially since it's something that's been recommended for mods in so long, so it's nice to actually see it. The fog color, while looking weird like I mentioned earlier, earlier, I do think it's kind of neat. I think it matches, you know, the environments a bit better, but I do think they need to change it to be more like the Nine-Tailed Fox mod, where the zones are separated by elevators, just so that the fog doesn't look so weird when changing. Either that or make it a bit more of a fade effect, but besides that, I think it's a cool feature, and I think it could be improved quite a bit, and with improvements, I think it can look really nice. I think I've talked about everything I can really talk about with Ultimate Edition Reborn. As I said, it's the first version, so a lot of things are expected to be broken, and a lot of things are pretty basic right now, and I'm mostly making this video just to make it aware to the developers on what needs to be changed. I know a few of these bugs have already been mentioned in the Ultimate Edition Reborn server, but I felt like going in depth with it. I'm probably going to do a video like this when the Nine-Tailed Fox mod releases, and I also might do a commentary of SCP Terror Hunt sometime soon. I'm not sure, we'll see, I don't know. But for now, that's about it. I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.